And even my purpose is to make you pop on paper and shine online. Today I'm showing you a really quick tutorial on how you can utilize the eraser tool and the paint tool to make edits to an image or graphic that you have. So these are some very simple techniques with very basic type of graphics. So this is not anything for this is not a tutorial for like if you're trying to do photo editing. You may be able to use some of this for those advanced projects. However, this is for something more simple like the one that you see on the screen right here. So I have this background or this image that I downloaded from one of my subscriptions that I have so that I can get graphics. But I don't want this title over here, this road background. I don't want that on there. And I'm just using it as a, I just open it as a JPEG right into Photoshop. So instead of opening the EPS file from Adobe in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm just going to show you really quick. I just really like how this road kind of winds and then fades off. Now this is something, an effect that I could do in Photoshop myself, but why do that if I can just do something really quick like this anyway? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two different ways that I can make this happen. So the first thing that I could do is I could just crop it on down. So choose my crop tool over here on the left and just kind of crop that out. Okay, so now I'm down to not having that text over there that I didn't want included. So what I can do now is I can actually do my magic eraser tool. If it's not on magic eraser, you'll see the little kind of sparklies around it. And when you hover, it says magic eraser. Just right click and you'll choose that one. It may be on eraser tool, just a normal one. So you right click and magic eraser tool. So when you do magic eraser tool, what you want to do is set the tolerance. So tolerance says how closely do you want me to match the pixels around where you click as to saying what I want to erase. So I'm going to set it really, really high right now so you can just kind of see. I'm going to set it at 70. So, and then when I click here, what happens is it takes all of that blue off. Now, if I wanted to keep that darker blue, like kind of shadow that was there, let me do Control Z so you can see. If I wanted to keep that, then that would really mess it up. Not only did it take that that light blue off, but it also blended into the white, as you can see. Let me do it again. As you can see, that a lot of that white now is transparent, and I'm doing everything that is contiguous. So right here, I'm going to hover over it, erase only contiguous pixels at the very top up here. Okay, now you can toggle that off, and it probably also grab this white right in here in the middle of the road as well. So I'm going to go back. Okay, and to do undo, you can do Control Z or Command Z if you're on a Mac, or just go to Edit, Undo, whatever it says you want to do. So that's one way that you can do it. But when you set the tolerance like considerably lower, I'm just going to set it at 30. Then it only grabs stuff closer to that actual blue that I wanted to erase. Okay, then I could also go in and take these blue out right here, but the white is still intact, as you can. But if you let me zoom in so you can see, it did take some of that off at the very top. It did take some of that white off with that 30% tolerance. So I'm going to Control Z to undo that. So again, you could set it down to 10. Now, when the color is very close like this, it is something that you can, play around with. And see, now it kept the other blue parts there. You can play around with other tools and other things just to see and get it exactly like you want it. So I'm just going to Control Z all the way out of this. Let me zoom so you can see. Now, this is what we began with, so I want to also show you this. So when you have the colors that are like basically very they have a good contrast. So this dark gray and this really light pale blue color, they have a really good contrast ratio. So what you can do is actually grab your eyedropper tool so you can select the color you want. So I'm just going to go right inside of one of these. You can go on the outside of it, but I'm going to grab this blue. And when I grab that blue, it goes into my color palette. Not only that, it's now over here on the left-hand side. You can see that is the color that's now our foreground color. Okay, so that's what we have, like, that's ready to go. So anything we create now will be that color. So I'm gonna go over here. Since I have the eyedropper tool, I have that light pale blue color selected. I'm gonna go to here. If you don't have your paintbrush tool here, and you're just going to do the brush tool, if on one of the other ones is selected, right click and select your brush tool and set the brush size to whatever you need it to be. Like if it's 7, it's going to take me forever to do this, because it's really huge and the colors are spot on. So I'm going to make it back really big. Okay, so all right, that's good enough. So what I'm going to do now, it doesn't have to be exactly 196. It has to just be what works for your color or for your palette that your image that you're working with. So I'm just going to paint right over that. What? Yes, that simple and that easy. So anything else that you want to do with that, you could. If I wanted to also, if I want to take this darker blue shade out, I could also grab my paint bucket tool here. Okay, so instead of the gradient, just the paint bucket tool, and I could fill it with this light blue color. Let's just see how that works out. And it works. It worked perfectly, except for you see it, my faded out part, it grabbed that as well. So yeah, let me turn on, let me see, fill only, contiguous. And here again, you can change the tolerance down to something lower. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So I changed that tolerance lower and it's actually perfect. So now you can resize or crop or whatever you want to do with it here. Okay. Boom. So very, very easy way to, a couple of easy ways to edit something simple where you get it or closer to what we're looking for. Switch this out, show you what I'm doing. And I kind of have white edging. Okay, so transparent on the edges. An image, just drag it right over. And so let's bring that size down, resize it, and zoom back in. And I'm gonna make the layer go behind this. And what I'm trying to do is actually I actually want to make it more like a winding path. That's really what I want it to look like. Okay. So yeah, this is what I'm using it for. And let's see how I can get it. So again, I'll just play around with it, but you see how I really wanted it to be, I kind of want it to be, to have that transparent, so it kind of blends in more with what I have already going on in this image. And yeah, I'm gonna go from there and see what I can make happen. Let me see. Let me pause and mess around with it, and then I'll show you the finished.